Oh, I haven't even started recording today. You may have noticed that I'm posting the day's session every day, right? Um, in the uh, in the course material folder, right? The first 3 days, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd, they are all like 2 hours long, slightly more than 2 hours. I posted them, and they were available until Sunday. Um, and yesterday's recording is already posted there. And this week's posting will be there until uh, the weekend. It will be there. Uh, so Monday's posting, Monday's class will be posted there. The recording of the Monday's class will be there until Sunday. So it's there for the longest time. And then Thursdays will be there for the shortest time because it's going to be for, uh, Thursday through Sunday only. But um, I'm going to, some people were asking, okay, you're not, I'm not even sharing screen, so you don't know. Let me share the screen. You were probably just looking at my profile picture all this time, but let me show you. I have my own channel on YouTube, and I have playlists. Okay, playlists. Okay, so my playlist. So the name. All the courses that I teach, are there. So you guys are. Let me. Okay, you guys are business 210. So please bookmark. Please bookmark this playlist uh, on your browser, on your computer. I mean, you all use YouTube. So you see all my videos are posted in what is that called? Blackboard for 5 days, right? So someone was asking, what about uh, the videos that are older than 5 days? You can find it. You can look it up in my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I mean, I don't say this because this is for class, but you may feel free to subscribe to it. And another thing is there is some overlap in the topics overlap. So some of the videos are cross-listed. In other words, some videos that are used in Business 210 are not necessarily, some of them are, and what am I doing? So also bookmark this too. Oops. I'm trying to play it, but yes, this playlist. This is Finance 100. Of course, they are separate courses, but some of the topics are cross-listed, or some of the videos are cross-listed. Nothing so far. There's nothing that is cross-listed, but you will later find some videos, some topics that are cross-listed. And the topic that is cross-listed is only the compound interest. Oh, financial statements and compound interest. So anyway, but that's not necessarily what you need to. And past postings, right? You guys are business to 10, so also bookmark this. Business to 10 summer 21. This is where you will find all the past session recordings. They're all like 2 hours long. This one is 2 hours 10 minutes long. I don't know who this is, Mohammed, or somehow the this gentleman who was
That is me.
Oh, that is you, and who is you? Who are you? Who is that?
Mohammed.
Mohammed, yeah. So you are the cover. You are the cover picture or cover photo of the. But YouTube automatically picks it. It's not me. YouTube picked it automatically. So these videos don't have any time limit. Okay. As you may have noticed, that not here. Yeah, and I told you, last week's videos are no longer visible there because it's only for that week, but yesterday's session is there. Session recording is there, but it will be there only until this Sunday. So anyway, continuing with what we. Okay, I had to turn off the AC because I'm already losing my voice. So let's take a look at this example. Right? This is something you would also find in the book if you have the book. So we did something like this already yesterday, but I'm just trying to show you. Okay, so let's think about it. Warren Ford borrowed $12,000 on a non-interest-bearing simple discount, 9.5%, 6-day note. So what does that mean? That's he issued. That means he issued 60-day promissory note. Okay, 60-day promissory note. At 9.5% interest rate, simple discount rate. So, because think about it, issuing a promissory note is like borrowing short money for short term. And I've been explaining to you, this is only possible in B2B context, right? In B2B context. And that means Warren Ford is a businessman. I mean, he must have his own business, right? And he could be, sole proprietorship, right? Just one man, business, but sole proprietorship, not a corporation, sole or partnership. It's just sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship doesn't have to be only a one man, one person business. I mean, if you have your, let's say you have a coffee shop, and in your coffee shop hires, employees, a coffee shop could be small with only 4 tables, or it could be like as big as, or Starbucks, or with. But anyway, it's a sole proprietorship, because if the ownership is with only one person, it's a sole proprietorship, and the owner is the only one who has the authority, and who has the authority to issue promissory note. Anyway, assume ordinary interest. Next question. So we can already tell, oh, this is principal. I mean, that's obvious. I'm not gonna. What do I do here? Can I undo? So we know this is principal, right? We know this is principal. And this is D, right? Isn't that right? And this is T, but in days. So we know we have to convert it into years, right? And then ordinary interest year, and there's 360, right? So, and you'll have to answer exactly, parts, right? First, maturity value. You have to indicate, right? Maturity value or future value. Bank discount, that's what? What is the symbol for bank discount? What is the symbol? Anyone? I don't like it when, there's a silence for more than 5 seconds, because it's like, don't type in there because I can't see. Just say. Just say it.
It's a B, uppercase B.
Yeah, uppercase B, yes. And who was that?
Hannah.
Hannah. Okay, Hannah. So, yeah, 0.25. I always give credit to wherever the credit is due. Okay. Hannah, you got 0.25. And this is business 210. Today's date is 07/27. Okay, that's uppercase. Warrants proceeds. What is the symbol for proceeds? What's the symbol for proceeds? Anyone?
Uppercase D.
Uppercase D. And who is this?
Hannah.
Okay, Hannah. So, all righty. And the effective rate. Now, this is the thing that hasn't been discussed yet, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. But the symbol for effective rate is R star. The asterisk, R star. So what does that mean? Let's do this. It's not difficult. We already know. So I'm gonna have to borrow something like this. I'm gonna have to copy the a template. It's okay to copy because it's my own work, right? There's nobody's. I'm not copying anybody's anybody's thing. I'm copying my own work. So what's the problem with it? There's no problem, right? Here. So according to let me clear out everything. Let me clear out. So he borrowed, I believe that was like, not this one. But if I remember correctly, $12,000, right? Isn't that right? And then 9.5%. And don't leave it like this. See what happened here? If you enter 9.5% and but Excel automatically rounded, okay? Excel automatically rounded it. But you don't leave it like that. If you leave it like that, you will lose point. You understand? You will lose points. Why? If it is, but so I will go to home, and you see, you can increase or decrease decimal. This is increasing decimal. You increase decimal, okay? Give it, by default, always give it like 2 to 3 decimal places. 2 to 3 decimal places. Always remember, if you don't give it 2 to 3 decimal places, you'll be, you'll get penalty. Okay, you'll lose points for that. The main reason is, now think about, let's fill out other inputs first, input data. And for how long? 60 days. So here, that it's in days. So I'm gonna have to insert. Okay, that's not that insert here. Insert cells. Okay, and then everything will have to go to the right. Shift cells to the right. There you go. And I'm gonna copy this and drag left, and then we have days. $60 days. Okay. All right. Again, this number format was automatically copied into this, so I'm gonna have to. You're gonna change, that to general or number. Just 60 days number. So I'll just change that to 60 days. And then question is, then obviously, what is the maturity value? Ordinary interest. What's the maturity value? Bank's discount. Proceed. So I'm going to have to make some adjustment here. Yeah, I'm going to have to insert. Yeah, cells have been inserted, and then I will maturity value. Put maturity value there. Okay, and this is part A. So don't forget to put. Don't forget to indicate it, because if the problem asks you in parts, you must exactly answer in parts. That's compliance. You have to comply. You have to comply with what the instruction tells you to do. Now, B is the bank discount, and C, part C is Warren's proceeds. So this is actually B, right? B is the bank discount, and this is C, right? Of course, to answer in okay, and if you and this will be D, right? Part D, effective interest rate, and I will move this around because it's natural, it's more natural or normal for part B to come before part C, right? Okay. Also, all of these are answers to the questions. So I'm gonna highlight them all in yellow. So, and then we assume ordinary interest here. Anyway, so I'm gonna copy that thing. Oh yeah, it's here. So I'm gonna put it here so that, okay. So here, now you may think, it's taking so much time because I'm illustrating, I'm doing this, I'm explaining as I do this, so it seems like it takes a lot of time. But when I do it without, explaining, it takes no more than 1 minute to do the whole thing. Even not even 1 minute. So once you get the hang of it, you can do it, without too much talking. It could. I will just annotate here. I'll put comment ordinary here. All right, that way you can tell you have to use ordinary here. All righty, so then first you'll need to find, you'll need to convert it into year, right? Because it is ordinary, right? There you go. I'm going to also highlight it in. That is not answer, but that is a more like a intermediate calculation. So I'll highlight it with. Now, what is the maturity value? Look, maturity value in this example is actually still the same thing because it's just this, right? Why? Think about it. It's a non-interest bearing note. And if it is a non-interest bearing note, there's no difference between principal and future value, because literally there's no interest. Now then, all we need to do is then, let's find B, bank discount. Before I do that, let me give it some, let me give it $sign. And bank discount, will someone help me out here? What's the bank discount? I said, your response, you should be like, very agile. There should be some nimbleness. These days, I don't see any agility or nimbleness in the students. I'm talking about mental agility. Nobody's springing up like when I throw a question, there should be like instantaneous response, but it's so much delay. It's like lethargic. Everyone is lethargic. Can someone help me out here? How do you find the bank discount?
I can try.
Okay, and who is this?
Hannah?
Okay, Hannah. Okay, you are the star player today. Okay, Hannah, go ahead.
Equal M42.
Yeah, you can use M42, or you can use
right? R42. Yeah.
R42, right? Because that way it's then universal. I mean, whether it is interest-bearing or non-interest-bearing note, right? Whether it's interest-bearing note or non-interest-bearing note, bank discount is always, future value, maturity value times.
Times, right? Yeah, N42.
That times what? N42?
N42.
Yeah, there you go. And
Times
times
Q42.
Q42. Yes, there you go. You got it. That's the bank discount. And since you're on a roll, so since you're on a roll already, and once you got the bank discount, you can get also proceeds, right? So can you help me out here with the proceeds?
Yeah. Then it's
Got to start with the equal sign, of course, right?
equal. It's R42 minus S42.
All right, there you go. You got it. All right, Hannah, for that effort, right? For that, uh, and you did two questions, two parts, right? So I
Yeah.
give you 0.5, 0.5. So, okay, total of 1 point already. All righty. So then our last question is, part D, what is the effective interest rate? What's the effective interest rate? But before I do that, remember you can also, in this example, since you already found a bank discount, uh, you can find proceeds simply by taking the difference between the two, right? Um, but also, if you went ahead and uh, solved for proceeds first, um, can someone help me out if you are solving for proceeds directly, not by let me do this, not by taking the difference between uh, the maturity value and the bank discount, right? Um, if you're solving for D directly, how do you do that? Can someone help me out? Anybody else? Hannah is the only player here. Come on. We have I will let me see how many people are here. So at least 4 people only. What happened? I have only Christopher, Hannah, and Mohammed. Everyone, where is everybody else? Jennifer Corujo left. Maricel Morales left. Monique has an internet connection issue. And who was this? I don't have Jennifer. Okay, don't have a microphone. Okay, but then Christopher or Mohammed, can either of you guys help me out here? Christopher or Mohammed? Where is Christopher? Christopher, are you there? Yeah, I think I lost Christopher. Mohammed, are you there? Mohammed?
Professor,
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah.
confused. I'm not going to be able to help you out after this question. I'm still confused.
You're still confused. I mean, look, uh, this is like doing it 3 times over. Why? Because you should have, studied the videos that are posted already. You should have studied it. You should have watched it like last week. And then there was, uh, uh, reflection and discussion during the class, and then the class session recording is posted. So it's like it's a matter of it's just a matter of studying. right? You got to study. I think then, all right, so we have only Hannah. Hannah, can you help me out here if you
Yeah,
are getting D
yeah,
correctly, yeah?
I can
Mhm.
try. I'm not sure if this is right though, but then you take equal, you take M42 or
M42. Why always 40,
R42.
R42? So to make it consistent, because R40, because the formula is always future value or maturity value times something something, right?
Yeah,
So we'll stay consistent with that. R42. I mean, if I didn't have this column, if I didn't have this column R, then you can enter M42, right? But when we have this R column, then it's better to use the R column, okay?
yeah.
So yes, and then
Times open parentheses 1 minus N42
42, yes.
times Q42
Q42.
and then
Yeah.
close.
hmm And if it gives you the same number as T42, then you got it right. It checks out. Yes, of course, right? And then bank discount in this case is bank discount. Of course, it will be the same number, but getting it is simply, the difference between the two. Isn't that right? That's the difference between the two. Make sense? All right. Then next question is, what is R star, effective interest rate? Now, what is effective interest rate? Remember, the first example I used was like, mafia loan, right? Remember that? I said I call that type 2 loan. It's like uh, when you borrow when you borrow $20,000, right? That was the example I used. You borrow 10K at 10%, but what do you get? If you're borrowing 10K from Mafia, usually how does it work? You remember that? Huh? They don't give you 10K. It's not like, oh, we give you 10K, 1 year later, pay back 11K. That's not that's normal. That's normally the way the lending works, isn't that right? That's normally the lending and borrowing works. Bank lends you 10K. 1 year later, you pay back 11K, right? That's the future value. You pay back. Um, Basically, you pay back the future value or the maturity value. But if you borrow it from the mafia or loan sharks or pawn shops, the way they lend you money is okay. 10% interest is upfront. You pay interest upfront, right? So actually, what do you get? You get 9K. So they take interest upfront, right? And then when you pay back 1 year later, you pay back 10K. You pay back 10K. So in other words, Instead of borrowing 10K, you borrowed only if actually 9K only, and you pay back 10K. This is usually, you know, they take the interest up front, right? So this is usually the way the you know, the mafia loan works. Mafia's lend. Um, uh, but if you think about it, and I labeled it Type 2 loan. If you think about it, it's like it's a little different, but you know, it's like uh, discounting. It's like simple discount, isn't it right? Um, isn't it right? It's like you took $10,000 promissory note to the bank. Bank discounted by 10%. Bank discounted by 10%. You just get 9K. And that 1K is the bank's cut. Bank will present it to the issuer of the promissory note, and bank makes 1K from this transaction. Right? You understand? So the mafia loan is, in a way, similar to bank simple discount or bank discount. But then, if you think about this 10%, when you borrow money from mafia, they call this interest. We're taking 10% interest up front. But if you think about it, this is not interest rate. This is discount rate. This is discount rate, right? But then how much interest did you pay? You paid actually 10K, I mean 1K. I mean, this one is 1K. Somehow, God. You paid interest of 1K. Everyone is clear about that? But then you paid, if you think about it, you paid interest of 1K for borrowing 9K only. Isn't that right? Because for 1 year, you understand? Yeah, good, Hannah, you got it, right? This is the bank discount. That was Hannah, right? Who else is and this is D. If you think about it, this is D, the proceeds, right? And then this is the maturity value or principal or maturity value. Non-interest bearing. This is non-interest bearing. So principal is exactly the same thing as maturity value. So if you think about it, this is the way the mafia loan, this is the way simple discount works, right? Let me just make sure how many people are there. Okay, there's also Sarah. Sarah, are you here? If you are here, can you raise your hand? Sarah? Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
All right. And so people are in and out. Some people got, I don't know if this is the internet connection. Christopher Silva is no longer here. And then Mohammed is not here. So that could be internet connection. Yeah, it looks like Mohammed, I can see no connection, you know. You guys are having poor connection. So you have to
Professor,
yeah, hi Sarah. Yeah.
sorry, today and yesterday I can't see the slide, so I don't know what's wrong, but I'm so sorry. I can't see the slide, so I'm just listening to your voice.
Yeah, I lost you, Sarah. You and your, you know, I can see your connection is also bad, right? Not very good. But Alrighty, so we'll have to. Maricel, are you there, Maricel? Can you raise your hand? Okay, Maricel, I see your microphone coming up. Yeah, it looks like your connection is okay, right? I can see. So we have. I'm hoping to have Sarah back soon and rest of the class back soon, but it looks like the connection is very poor. That's why I'm posting the recording of the day's session, right? So please, if you had a bad connection, please, look for the day's recording, right? The session recording for the day. You got to review that. So anyway, so either Hannah or Maricel, can you? So where am I? Yeah. So you understand this? You have if you borrowed from Mafia 10,000, you don't really borrow 10,000. Uh, the principal is actually only 9K because they take 10% interest up front, right? So this is interest up front, and this is the principal, and this is the maturity value. You pay back 10K. You pay back 10K. So I called it type 2 loan, type 2, and it's my terminology, type 2 loan. But if you think about it, it's just like the way the bank discount or simple discount works. In simple discount, this is called B, bank discount. And this is called proceeds, D. And this is called principal or maturity value. Maturity value, right? So remember when you, so although it is 10%, right? When Mafia loans you, they say interest is 10% upfront. They call it interest, but actually, if you think about it, you're in the interest rate is not 10%. That's actually discount rate, isn't it right? This is actually discount rate, not interest rate. So if you want to calculate interest rate, what do you do? I mean, how do you remember when we did I equals P times R times T, and to find interest rate, what did you do? You did I over P times T. Isn't that right? That's what we did. Then think about it. What is I? This is 1K is I, right? 1K is I, 9K is P, 1 year, that's T. Okay? But in discounting promissory note, the names are different, right? I mean, this is 1K is, what is the name for 1K? Anybody? Hannah, what is this 1K called? Hannah, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, what is this 1K called? If this is discounting promissory note, what is this 1K called?
You mean like it's principal?
1K is not principal, right? 1K is not principal. I mean, what is this?
Is it the interest?
Yeah, that's the interest. Yes, that's true. But in the bank discount, I mean, discounting promissory note, in the context of discounting promissory note, what is this called? What is this called? Was that Mohammed? I lost you for a while, and
Yeah,
you're
that was
back.
me. I lost the connection.
I know. It seems like a lot of people are having connection problem today. Isn't this called B? Isn't this bank discount? This is what the bank gets, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it what the bank gets, right? And this 9K is what? That's the proceeds, right? And this is T, right? So this is basically, then think about it. If you had to pay 1K just to borrow 9K, right? Just to borrow 9K. So think about it. In the type 2 loan or in mafia loan, you never got 10K. You just got, you got, you got, 9K only. So that's like your principal, right? That's like your principal. 9K is your principal, but you pay back 10K, right? So that way, they got the interest up front even before lending money to you, and at the end, you pay 10K. So they eventually collect, that 1K interest. So obviously, in the case, for borrowing 9K, you paid 1K. So actually, the interest rate is 1/9, which is 11.11. You understand? It's 11.11%. If you divide if you divide 1K over by 9K, then the true interest rate, or effective interest rate, that's called effective. Effectively, you're paying 11.11% interest. Does that make sense? Because you only got 9K. You wanted to borrow 10K, but you didn't. You only got 9K because they took 10% interest up front, and you pay back 10K. So that way, the mafia gets 1K this way, right? So for borrowing, you paid already, you paid 1K interest for borrowing 9K. So effectively, you paid 11.11% interest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Hannah. And how about other people? Now, but you see the parallel here. The parallel is they are both about R, but this one in this case, this is type 1. Type 1 interest. You must divide interest by P times T. In the case of bank discount, the interest is B, actually, right? Interest is B. P is D, because you paid this interest to mafia or to the bank, right? I'm not saying bank is mafia, but and then this is effectively what you got, right? This is called proceeds, right? Because you're selling $10,000 promissory note to the bank. Bank is making 1K out of that. That's bank discount, right? Bank. And then you receive 9K for 1 year, right? And 1 year means, the time remaining, time left on this promissory note is 1 year. In other words, discount period is also 1 year, because it's like with 1 year left, you just sold it, right? With 1 year left to maturity, you sold it. So the discount period is 1 year, right? And you gave the bank $10,000 promissory note, right? You gave the bank $10,000 promissory note and got 9,000 only. So 1K is the bank, what bank makes for holding it for 1 year, right? And holding it for 1 year, of course, look. So here's the thing. Discount rate can be high or low. And what determines that? Obviously, the default risk of the issuer or promissory note. If the promissory note was issued by a high credit, high quality issuer, then they won't have to discount it deeply. They won't have to discount it deep, right? Because the default risk is low. But if the issuer of the promissory note is a low quality company, right? Their default risk is high, and they will have to use high discount rate. Okay, does that make sense? Nobody.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Was that Hannah or?
Yeah,
Oh,
Hannah.
okay, thank you. And yeah, we got some other people back, but I got the connection is obviously very poor today, right? It looks like Sarah's here, but Sarah's connection is kind of low, right? Okay, so I would have to assume that Sarah, you can't see the slide today and yesterday. Okay, Sarah, can you hear me? Sarah, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, Sarah, you know, I don't know if you have noticed, but I'm posting the day's recording, right? The day's session recording every day, right? Last week's recordings were only visible until Sunday, but this week's, so Monday through Thursday, this week's actual session recording will be posted until this Sunday, until this weekend. So please catch up. Yesterday's recording is there. Okay, so you can
Okay,
see.
Professor. I will do that.
All right, you can see what is being demonstrated. So now this brings us to the formula for effective interest rate. That means here, and I put it here also. Effective interest rate is B over dt. So here, then, I'm going very slow again, because it's already Tuesday and we're already into the new topic. So we are like 2 days behind already. So to calculate effective interest rate here, right, just follow. So can someone help me? So what is the effective interest rate here? How do you find it? Will someone help me? Hannah racked up already, 1 point for today. And I'm not saying if you want, you can do more. But if
Is it
there's anybody
equal?
else,
Yeah, can I
okay.
start?
Who is this? Who is this?
It's Mohammed.
Mohammed. Okay, Mohammed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, but I'll try my best.
Okay. Go ahead. Equal
Yeah, equals N42,
N42. What is N42? N is
the interest rate, no?
yeah. But we are talking about effective interest rate. And is that the way I demonstrated it? I just showed you. I demonstrated how to do it, and then I showed you the formula. I mean, it's right in your face. The formula is right in your face.
Okay, it's equal
Huh?
S42
S42, yes, S42, and then
divided by T42.
T42. Yes, but you
Open
just do
parentheses.
open parenthesis. Yes, don't miss that.
Yeah.
T42.
42
Mm-hmm.
times
Mm-hmm.
um the T is going to be, is it Q42?
Q42. Q. Yes, it's Q42. Yes. There you
Yeah,
go.
close by.
And hit enter. There you have it. See, compare the discount rate with the effective interest rate. Effective interest rate is always slightly higher. Effective interest rate is always slightly higher, right? And then that also conforms with our example. In our example, discount rate was 10%, right? Remember, $10,000 promissory note discounted at 10%. So your proceeds will be 9K. Bank discount is 1K, right? And then effective interest rate, think about it, because you are paying $1,000 interest for getting 9,000, right? The effective rate is effectively you're paying 11.11% because it's right 1K over 9K times 1. So the effective interest rate is always greater than, it has to be greater than the discount rate. Because if you're discounting 10K at 10%, then yeah, the bank discount, the interest upfront is 1K. The proceeds will be only 9K. That 1K is 10% of 10K, that's for sure. But it's not 10% of 9K. You understand? 1K is not 10% of 9K. 1K is 10% of 10K, 10K only. So 1K is then 11.11% of 9K. Right? Does that make sense? So effective rate is always supposed to be, that means effectively you are paying 9.65% interest. Just like in this example, just to get 9K, you had to pay 1K interest. So effectively, you paid 11.11% interest. Effectively. That's what is meant by effective interest rate. Right? Does it make sense, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. All righty, good. Oh, it's 4:06, and we're running out of time. We got much more to do. The next one. Okay. I had iced coffee when I started. It's warm now. There's no ice. It's just warm. So I'm gonna have to take a break. Shortly after this one. Jane Long buys a 10K 13-week Treasury bill at 6%. What is her effective rate? Round to the nearest 100th percent. Now, doesn't matter. These things are really childish. This is really okay. I even had. This is a childish thing, The names. Do we need names like this? We don't need names, Those are. But the point is, what is a treasury bill? Now, why is treasury bill suddenly appearing here? Why did they bring up treasury bill? Now, treasury bill is a federal government, U.S. federal government borrowing, short-term borrowing. Okay, issued by the Treasury Department. Treasury Department is the borrowing arm, financing arm of the federal government. Okay, so that's why it's called Treasury bill. Now, the name is, if the maturity is less than 1 year, if the maturity is less than 1 year, it's called Treasury bill. If the maturity is between 1 year and 10 years, maturity left is between 1 year and 10 years, it's called Treasury note. And if the maturity left is between 10 and 30 years, it's called the Treasury bond. So basically, Treasury note and Treasury bond are long-term securities, long-term borrowings. So it works, with compound interest. It's not simple interest. But since Treasury bill is a short-term security, short-term borrowing, it works with simple interest. Okay, and simple discount. It's being discount actually. It's like promissory note. Remember, promissory note is borrowing basically, and a company like company X buys from company Y some merchandise and pays with promissory note, right? And company Y that received this promissory note can hold it until maturity, or can take it to the bank and sell, right? Sell it at discount, right? That's why it's called simple discount or bank discount, because the bank is the one buying. But actually, it's not only the bank. There are financial companies that specialize in buying these promissory notes, and they are called factors. So it's also called factoring. Simple discounting is also called factoring, and I'm going to get to that later because there's a lot of things to talk about. It's the background knowledge. Okay, it's the background information. But but we don't have time for that. So in the class, it's the mechanism. We are only mainly covering the mechanism behind it. But it's there's a lot of background knowledge about it. So anyway, so it's like this treasury bill is just like the non-interest-bearing promissory note. And 13-week is, in other words, what? 3 months. They have 1 month treasury bill, 3-month treasury bill, 6-month treasury bill. Okay, from 1 year it's going to be a treasury note. So quite common. It's 1 month treasury note, treasury bill, and 3 months treasury bill. So very common. Okay. And they also call it 13-week because 3 months is 13-week. 13-week is 3 months. So if someone buys, Jane Long buys $10,000 13-week treasury bill, what does that mean? When you buy a treasury bill or a bond, a corporate bond or whatever, you are lending money to the issuer. Okay, so remember I said promissory notes are used between mainly between in B2B when company X buys from company Y and pays with promissory note. But that's not the only way the promissory note is used. Promissory note is also sold by company X in the financial market. For what purpose? I mean, aren't they using it, as a payment, as a method of payment? That's one use. Another use is they simply sell it to raise capital, short-term capital. In other words, to meet their short-term cash flow needs, they they sell promissory notes, short term, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, right? You understand? That makes sense. So I told you, if the maturity is less than 1 year, it's called treasury bill for U.S. federal government debt, right? And if the maturity is longer than 1 year, up to 10 years is called a treasury note, and beyond that, treasury bond. The term bond, the term bond means long-term debt. Okay, and companies can also do that. Companies sell bond to borrow long-term, to raise capital for long-term. You understand? But the companies, in case of companies, the word bond applies to, it's called corporate bond. Corporate bond applies to the maturity longer than 1 year. It could be 1 year to up to 30 years. I mean, technically it can be of any length, but normally it's not very marketable, right? If you, no company sells like, 100-year bond. I mean, countries, sovereign countries in the past sold like 100-year bond, especially when during the times of war, they raised, money to finance the war effort by selling bonds, that they were called war bonds. But look, when companies sell bonds, usually the maturity is longer than 1 year, up to like 30 years. But short-term bonds, companies, short-term bonds, what do they call it? Short-term bonds sold by company. I mean, short-term bonds, short-term debt sold by U.S. Treasury Department is called, federal government is treasury bill. But then what is the short-term corporate bond called? What is the short-term corporate bond called? Anybody? I wouldn't expect you to say anything because, you don't know. Short-term corporate debt is called commercial paper. Commercial paper. So in other words, commercial paper is nothing but promissory note. You understand? Commercial paper is exactly the promissory note. Promissory note is the company's short-term debt. They can sell it. So anyway, so everyone got that? Everyone? No one?
Yeah.
Okay, so just one person. Huh? Just one person. Let me just check who's still here. I don't know if this is still, yeah, Hannah, Maricel, Mohammed. So how about you, Maricel? Did you get it? Hannah, are you there? I mean, Maricel, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so you understand the concept of commercial paper,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
starting to
Mohammed.
understand it.
Okay, Maricel. And Mohammed, you got the concept of commercial paper, right? Mohammed? Mohammed, you're not here?
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. All righty, so I'm gonna do this. It's $10,000 13-week, and what is the discount rate? What's the discount rate? Not that one. This one. 6%. So we're gonna do that here. So it's $10,000. It's 6% discount rate. So it's non-interest bearing and 13 weeks. So to find what is the, what was the question? What is the, what is her effective rate? Okay, so this question has only one part. It's the effective rate only. Effective rate only. But to get to effective rate, anyway, we will need to do, we'll need to find anyway, bank discount and proceeds, right? Okay, can someone help me out here? I'm gonna have to put 1 year is 52 weeks. Understand? 1 year is 52 weeks. You may have never thought about it, but 1 year is 52 weeks. Okay, so let's start with this. So we convert 13 weeks into years. Can someone help me out here? So previously, Mohammed, you got 0.25 for, was that, effective rate, right? Oh, and will someone help me out here? How would you convert 13 weeks into a year? Nobody?
I
Just
can
dragging.
Is that equal? Can I try?
Okay, who is this? Who is this?
This is Mohammed.
Mohammed, okay, equals, yes. Go ahead.
It's gonna be P43
P43, right? And
divided by
divided by
um K42.
K42. Look, it's not days, it's weeks. K42 is ordinary year.
Okay. So it's gonna be K44.
K44, yes. All right. Then what's going to be the bank discount? Well, let's do this first. And then bank discount, we can easily do that. So what's going to be the proceeds then?
So it's gonna be equal R42.
R42, and where is R? Are you sure R42 with? Because there's nothing in R42, but it's okay. If there's nothing in R42, we know what R42 is.
And
But you gotta look. You can't. You don't. When you say R42, don't be just mechanical because R42 there is no data, right?
no,
So
I was thinking
anyway,
the S column is gonna be equal R42.
okay. Hold on. Yeah, but you're right. Uh, you're right. But then to we were first finding we're solving for D, right? And you said R42. Yeah, formula wise, R40 it should be R43. Formula wise, that's correct. And R42 is a different problem. You should look at the cell and you should verify if there is data in that cell. And even if there's data, you got to make sure it is the right cell because the problem we are doing has its inputs here in row 43, right? So, and because it's non-interest bearing, yes, we can have non-interest bearing note. The principal is exactly the maturity value. So if I make R43 equal to M43, then yeah, I got the case there. I got a case. So yeah, R43 and then what?
Open parentheses.
No. What is the operating word? R43 just open parenthesis? What are you trying to do to R43?
Oh,
The verb is missing. Do you understand? The verb is missing. What is the operation that needs to be done there? Parenthesis is not an operation. What is the operation that must be done there? If you were following me, if you did the same, if you did this as we did, you must have row 42 already filled in. You got to look into your own row 42 and what is done there. Mohammed, I cannot let it drag on. I cannot let it drag on. So I will, I will have to give it to someone else, and I will, please try again next time, because we don't have infinite time. Is there anybody else who can carry on from here? Anyone else? Nobody?
I can do it.
Who's that? Who's that?
Hannah.
Hannah? Okay, Hannah. Yeah, take it from there, Hannah.
Times.
Times, yes, that's the operation, that's the verb. You cannot just say parenthesis, open parenthesis, because that's not operation. Times, what you're trying to do? Times, and then
Open parentheses.
right, and
1 minus.
1 minus.
And 43.
And 43.
Times. Q 43.
43. There you go. Yeah, close parenthesis. There you go. That's your, proceeds, D, and then the bank discount is then? What's the bank discount?
It's equal R 43 minus T 43.
Yes, it's the difference between the two. It's the difference between the two. Okay, and then for effective interest rate, what do you do?
You take.
Well, you got to start. You got to start with equal sign.
S 43 divided by open parentheses T 43 times Q 43.
That's right.
No.
Times Q.
Yeah. And close parentheses.
There you go. So you see, effective rate is always greater than the discount rate. It has to be. And also you could do here, simply you could, let's say you didn't do it like that, and you could just drag it down, right? You could just drag it down, but I would prefer to so this way. Okay, Hannah, I'll give you so you help me out with 3 parts, so I'll give you 0.75 for that. Alrighty, so look, this is and let's put it all back together. So this woman, Jane Long, or I believe whoever, name doesn't matter. This lady bought $10,000 treasury bill, right, at 6% discount rate, with 13 weeks left to maturity. So then if she sells it today, right, if she sells it today to the bank, of course she shouldn't sell it to the bank, because if she just waits 13 weeks, then she will collect 10,000, right? But if she buys, I mean, so that means how much does she have to pay? So in other words, if she buys it today, actually, if she buys it today, does it make sense to pay $10,000? I mean, think about it. Put yourself in her shoes. If you're buying it this today, that means you will have to wait 13 weeks, 3 months, and 3 months later you will just receive $10,000. But then does this make sense? Because this is non-interest paying note, right? Non-interest paying note. There's no interest. 13 weeks later, you will receive 10,000. So does it make sense to pay $10,000 for this treasury bill? Can anyone tell me? Does it stand to reason? Is it sensible? Is it logical? Is it rational to pay $10,000 for this that will pay you $10,000 13 weeks later? Does it make sense? Do you pay $10,000 just to get it back 13 weeks later?
No.
No. So what is the meaning of this? You don't pay $10,000 just to get it back 13 weeks later. There should be some incentive for you, right, to buy it. Then what should you pay? That means this is what you need to pay. Make sense? This is what you have to pay. You paid $9,850 today. 13 weeks later, you receive $10,000. That's what it means. Do you understand? They are selling at discount, right? Treasury bill. I mean, short-term instruments like the promissory note. I told you that's also called commercial paper. And companies' short-term borrowing is called commercial paper, but that's exactly the promissory note. And that's why the bank is discounting it. That's called, if bank is buying that. Now, look, the face value is $10,000. Then, and it's not paying any interest. 13 weeks later, you present it to the issuer, you will receive exactly 10,000. Then, if you're the bank, how much would you pay for it? That's why they discount it, right? And if you are the company that brought this $10,000 promissory note to the bank will discount it. They will pay you only this, and they hold it until maturity. Maturity is 13 weeks. 13 weeks later, they will present it to the Treasury Department. They will receive 10,000. So they make 150 this way. Makes sense? That's why it's called bank discount. And we are doing it using simple interest rate. So that's why it's also called simple discount. Okay, as opposed to compound discount, discounting using compound discount. All right, so I'm gonna have to put you on a break because it's already 4:32, and as I said, I gotta ice in my coffee is already all melted. I don't have any. This is crazy. So let me put you on a break for just 5 minutes. It's 4:32, so we'll reconvene at 4:37 exactly. 4:37. Reconvene at 4:37. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back, and so let me. I got a lot of things to talk about because I told you simple. Another name for simple discounting is also called factoring. And what does that mean? And I said factors are uh, financing companies, right? That uh, that specialize in buying discounting promissory notes, right? So in our example, if you sell the promissory note to the bank is a factor, right? And where did where this term where this term come from? Where did it? I'm gonna so the also once again background knowledge, right? Background knowledge, right? Uh, it 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 puts it, when you know the background knowledge, you can put it into context. Why it's called, but I'm gonna talk about that later because there's something that's really crucial. But we'll do the next example first, and then do the. So this one, we did it. Oh no. Okay, that's got another different name now. So our next example is from the above. So this is a just scenario, right? You don't know, there's no narrative, but there's no verbiage, but we can get the narrative. We can get the narrative from here. The scenario is obvious. Um, this guy or someone, right, has a interest-bearing promissory note of $35,000, right? Interest is 11%. Interest is 11%. And the maturity is 160 days, right? The length of note. This means this is maturity, right? And let me draw. Something's a little. Why does it look like double? Oh, something's not right. I'm gonna have to open this again. Okay. So now let's think about it. This is the principal, right? No matter what you call it, it's the principal, P, right? Length of the note is time to maturity. So I will use uppercase T. And why uppercase T? Because that's terminal time. I mean, this is the total timeline, right? And interest rate, yeah. So we know what we need to do. We'll have to find first, the maturity value, or because based on P, R, and t, and we'll have to convert it into years, of course. So then we will have to find the future value or the maturity value, right? I have to find them first, and then he took it to the bank, right, on June 8th. At and he sold this promissory note at 9% discount rate. So this is D. Of course, we know that this is D. This is D, right? Obviously. And our question is then, what is the and then parts, right? A, interest and maturity value. So we'll have to find I, maturity value, we can do that. B is discount period. So this is lowercase t. Look, so obviously they didn't, when they gave us date of note and date of discount, what does that mean? It's the date of note, this is time 0. It's actually time 0. Okay. Because this is the beginning of everything, right? This is the beginning of our timeline. And then this is time 1. This is when the discounting took place. This is time 1. That looks I'll have to write it more like 1. So basically, discount, if we know it is April 8th and 160 days from April 8th, we can calculate it. I mean, Excel will do that. We just make Excel do that. That is the actually end point, right? In calendar date. And then the thing is, if you think about it, discount period is, so suppose, 160 days from April 8th is, let's say, September 30th. If it is September 30th, we know what T is. T is then September 30th minus T1. Isn't that right? That should be T. Make sense? Everyone gets this?
Yes.
Okay. And C, bank discount. We need to find bank discount. So this is B. And D is proceeds, well, uppercase D, right? So here's, okay, so how do we, so I'm going to, since I have already done this, so I'm going to have to, let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to have to copy this first, right? Let's copy this. And I'll have to tweak it a little because this doesn't accommodate our, so what was the, first of all, what we need is, I'm going to have to insert like insert, insert. Insert. Let's see. I'm going to have to insert a couple of more columns. First of all, I will need to have R there. That's not lowercase r. And then uppercase T. That will give me. That will give me an. And here it is T minus T0 is, we know what T minus T0 is, 160 days. 160 days it was given. And what was the principal? What was the 35,000, right? 11% and 9%. 35,000. 35,000 and 11%. Oh no, that's not in dollars. I'm gonna have to percentage 0.11, 11%. Time 0 was August. What was time 0? April 8th. Okay, April 8th. I'm gonna have to change that to short date. So okay. Then we know what is the maturity date in calendar date, right? We know what. All you need to do is simply this plus this. Isn't that right? Okay, that will be a. So I think it's better to. Okay. Then the discount rate is, then we need another column for maturity value. Everyone is okay with this, and the discount rate is 9. Was it 9%? Okay. So in other words, so I have to put 0.09. And then do the second row. Then we need Now think about it. They gave us T1, right? T1, which is August. What is T1? So the June 8th, that's the time when you took this promissory note to the bank. So that's June 10th, isn't it? Oh, June 8th. I'm sorry, June 8th. So I'll have to change this to date. Just, 0608. Then T is basically T minus T1, so I will write it like, T minus T1. And I will also need, I'm going to have to put another, and this is, let's call this T in years. Now you see what I'm trying, you see what I'm doing? That wasn't necessary. First of all, it doesn't have to be this long, but that's fine, because I'm gonna, I believe maturity value is A, right? Maturity value is A. And then what is B? Discount period, right? Discount period. C, bank discount, okay. So this is B. And, oh, I was here. I didn't know it. And this is C, right? Bank discount. And this is proceed. So here, I'll just, it looks complicated, but it is not. It's simply because the time was given as calendar dates. So we just need to make adjustment for to accommodate calendar dates into our model. And so it's basically, so let's find out. M46 times 1 plus, so this is future value, right? Because it's interest bearing, interest rate times T, right? But of course, there's nothing in here, but we will have something here. Basically, the whole timeline, whole duration is this divided. So I don't even, but you know, this divided by ordinary here. Okay. In other words, this t minus t0. Okay, let me make it consistent. Okay. Remember the date of this note. In other words, when this note was issued, it was April 8th. Was it April 8th? Just making sure. Yeah, April 8th, and then June 8th. So this guy was holding the promissory note for 2 months, and then he took it to the bank. Right? So the maturity value is, right, R46 is correctly, if it is correctly done, K45 is 360. Okay, there you go. Oh, this is not dollars, you know. I'm sorry, that's not dollars. It's just number, right? 24. Okay, and then he's discounting it at this date. He took it to the bank on June 8th, discounting it at 9%. So then, what is the discount period? Discount period is then clearly the terminal date, which is, you know, September, right? September 15th. The difference between the two, right? And then the 99 days. If we convert it into years, simply, that's the discount period. And if we do convert it into years, right? And I've been telling you, unless otherwise specified, always assume ordinary interest year. This was not even asked. So this is D, part D. This is part D. This one wasn't even asked. Effective rate wasn't even asked, but we can find. So I'm gonna de-highlight so that, because it wasn't asked. So here we found maturity value, and the bank discount is the difference is this times T. There you go, bank discount. And it is the difference, proceeds is the difference between the two, right? All right, everyone is okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, was it Hannah? Okay,
Yeah.
Hannah, then can you, okay, thank you. Was it, okay, can you do it, can you find directly proceeds first? Can you find proceeds? How do you find proceed? I mean, in this example, we had, we did, you know, we found B first, and then we simply took the difference. But if you find D first, how do you do that?
And then you take equal, S46 times
S46 times
open parentheses 1
mm-hmm.
Minus
Mm-hmm.
T46
P46
times
mm-hmm.
W46.
Mm-hmm. There you go. We got the right number, and the B is then you find B. If you
Then
find B, mm-hmm.
S46
It's 46
times
mm-hmm.
T46 times
No. Why? Why? That's what we did already here. But we found D already. So then what do you do?
minus
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Y47.
7. There you go. There you go. And this one, that wasn't, we did, that's not even asked. So I'll de-highlight everything. Yeah. You see, this looks a bit complicated, but I would, if this looks too long, I would do it this way. I'm gonna highlight those and bring it down here, right? And then this way, we broke it up into two parts, right? We broke it up into two parts. First, we broke it up in two parts. First, we found, or maybe, I will put it there. Yeah, now they are like, equal in width. So the first part is finding, basically the first part is about finding the principal maturity value, right? Second part is discounting, right? Actually, I can make it look better. Right, because it's just but you can break down, you can analyze a problem like this, right? You can analyze a problem like this. This, all just, first it's about the because it's interest-bearing note, we must find first, maturity value of this interest-bearing note. And maturity value is, of course, simple interest, right? It's like what we did in chapter 10. And then second part is discounting, simple discount part, right? So here we have, and the only thing was that they gave maturity, they gave, calendar dates. This is the time 0, this is the time 1, this is the uppercase T, the terminal time, the maturity, right? So we found maturity, and then we found, then applying. We need to find the discount period, right? Which was, in days it's like this, but in years it's like this, right? In years, of course, the whole timeline on this bond was like this in years. And then all you need to do is simply, discount this by the discount rate and time you arrive at this. And then once you arrive at this, then this is the difference between the two, or vice versa. You can do this first, and then difference between the two. All right, everyone is okay with that. Let me blow. I can blow it up a little so it looks more. All right, so you should be able to do homework 1. Right? We covered everything about homework 1, so you should be able to do. Nobody should say, "Oh, I can't do that." Now, we have like 5 minutes left. I don't know. I don't have time for explaining factoring, but I guess I'll talk about factoring. Why is it called factoring? Why is it called factoring? I explained it. I believe I explained it in the video. You can watch the video. I explained it in the video. So I'm not going to talk about it here. But if I ask you why is it called factoring, you should be able to answer that. Because that means if you can't answer it, that means you didn't watch the video. Or even if you watch the video, I don't know. People don't pay attention. Like, you got to pay that a very serious, even furious attention. Life isn't easy going, especially in the future. You have to risk something. To be successful, you can't have all your fun and become successful. You have to sacrifice something, right? You have to sacrifice something. I sacrificed a lot of my, but it was all worth it. But it's basically, the sacrifices. Obviously, it's the cost of success. Is what Winston Churchill said: blood, sweat, and tears. Right? You have to burn midnight oil. You have to study when your eyes are drooping. Right? When your eyelids are drooping, you have to keep your eyelids open with whatever means. You apply the what's that? To your eyelid. That hot, cold. When you have a sore muscle, when you have bruise, there's this, a cream or ointment that you apply, which heats up the lesion or the area that has been affected, swollen, or bruised, or sprained, and it's really smarting. But no matter what, drinking coffee or pricking yourself with needle if you're sleepy, it takes a very serious effort, right? That's called studying, and you have to really shed blood, sweat, and tears. Only that's the price paid. That's the price to pay for success. And if you don't have that kind of determination, you can't succeed. Right? You can't achieve anything without any determination. Right? That determination. So obviously, the Allied nations won. Winston Churchill, it's not only Winston Churchill. I think, of course, Hitler also had that kind of determination too. But something was missing. Something, blood, sweat, and tears of Winston Churchill and the Allied was probably greater than the Nazis. Nazi Germany's, blood, sweat, and tears. Obviously, both sides, shed blood, sweat, and tears, but apparently, the blood, sweat, and tears on the Allied side was probably greater. Alrighty, so Oh, I remember. Okay, Hannah helped me out here too, so I'm gonna give another 0.5. That was like I believe at least 2 problems. Okay, so that's all the time we have. We'll call it a day here. We'll call it a day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget, 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. Your homework one is due. Okay, stop recording and.